Hi guys, in this video I want to talk about miscommunication, misunderstanding, and how Filipinos don't exactly understand the same jokes that we do, and it could get you in trouble here in the Philippines. Stick around, we'll discuss it. Alright guys, so I want to talk about this because throughout my time here and talking to others, this happens quite often. And we'll start off with like words and terms here, but even for us and vice versa, just because we both speak English here doesn't mean that we're always going to totally understand exactly what we say. For example, when I was at the airport and they had announced over the intercom, they said your flight is indefinitely, your flight is going to be late. The arrival time, we don't know. It's indefinite. We don't know when it will be. It's indefinite. And I'm thinking to myself, indefinite, you know, obviously I know what if you look up the term, it doesn't mean forever, but it's an amount of time that you just have no idea that when it's going to be. That's basically what they're saying, is that they don't know exactly when it's going to be. Well, you know, when we hear that word as Americans, or, you know, wherever you're from, we think, oh my God, this flight could be canceled for the day. And maybe it won't be, maybe it'll have to be rebooked or something. But it ended up only being maybe 45 minutes late. And when I heard the word indefinite, I was thinking, oh boy, what is going on? So miscommunication or misunderstanding, you know, on my part, on just how they use the word. Now I know that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be forever. Also, the term for a while, or can you wait a while? I'll give you two examples. I went into a shop to get my motorbike worked on, and he said, it's for a while, sir. There were several people ahead of me for a while, and so I was curious. I didn't want to sit around all day. For a while means indefinite amount of time for me. It could be till the end of the day, you know, I don't know. And he said, better you come back tomorrow. Well, instead of saying, you know, we're pretty much going to be booked, we're too busy to even get you in for the day, he just said, for a while, sir. And I'm thinking, you know, I could have been sitting around here all day, and I would have had no idea. I'm not even going to be brought in to have my bike worked on. Other times, I've been standing in line. I'm literally the next person in the line, and the lady said, for a while, sir. And I'm thinking, okay, is there more people that I don't know about? Maybe people have a number or something, they're waiting elsewhere. And literally 1 minute later, I'm called up. So the for a while could really mean a very short time, or it could be a long time. It seems like there's no definite answer exactly how much time it means. You know, in the US we say, well, or we learn, customer service wise anyway, we learn to say, it's going to be, you know, about 5-10 minutes. We like to hear like specific times. You make a phone call, you know, in the US, and they have to put you on hold. They'll still say the hold time is going to be this long to this long. Well, in the Philippines, they'll put you on hold and they'll say, okay, for a while, sir. I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be back in a while. They don't give you any exact time, or they don't tell you 5-10 minutes or anything like that. So that can be a miscommunication. So there's a bunch of these words that have misunderstandings or miscommunication. Now there can be extreme words. For example, the word exotic. You know, I was always led to believe that you're an exotic beauty meant you're different. You don't look like the everyday woman here. You're, you know, maybe an island beauty with nice tan skin and long black hair and exotic features. Well, here they think that means you're ugly, or I don't know. They have a whole, if you ask a Filipina about exotic, they don't like that word. And I've gotten in trouble using that word exotic a few times here. So there are a handful of words and phrases going both ways that will be misunderstood. There's oftentimes that you will say something and a Filipino will misunderstand it and think it's something bad. So just be careful and know that maybe your girlfriend is giving you some tampo or she's upset. Well, and you think to yourself, gosh, I didn't say anything wrong. No, we didn't have any problem. What's the deal here? It could be that she misunderstood a word that you said. I've had that happen. Not so much with Maya. Maya's really well read and very much into watching movies and sitcoms and things like that. But there's others that may not quite understand that or don't really watch so much American TV or read books. So, yeah. The last one I want to discuss is our humor. Our humor does not always go over well. Our humor can be very different. And I think this really is probably the same with like the UK and Australia, Canada. We can have, a sense of humor, like a dry sense of humor, or we can be sarcastic. In fact, the group of guys that I hang around with when we go and have coffee, we're always like cutting each other down, making little digs at each other. All of us can sit there and agree, and I think you guys, please comment down below and let me know. But if you have a sarcastic humor and try to use that with a Filipina, that does not always go over very well. It will cause arguments, it will cause tampo, and you just have to ask other guys in relationships with Filipinas, and they will tell you the same thing. So you have to tread lightly with the sarcasm. You got to be careful with that. It's better to try to just kind of avoid it. Maybe you can test out and see how she reacts to it. Again, Maya, who's well read, she loves to read American sitcoms and movies. She gets the sarcasm and she dishes it back, but it doesn't always go over well with Maya. There's sometimes like, why would you say that? And I'm like, it's just a joke. That's not funny. So you have to be careful. I would love to hear from you guys about different words or misunderstandings that you've had from the word that they've used, and also vice versa, maybe a word that you've used that they didn't like, and sarcasm and your sense of humor. And when I used to go out, I used to be able to like make jokes. Like you'd make a joke that's funny about maybe the cashier. I remember the other day, they ask you here, they put in the amount, and they'll say, is this okay? Is this correct, sir? Is this okay? And I'm thinking, so I made a joke and said something like, no, can you make it less? Ha ha ha. And she took it as you're flirting with her. So even our jokes, like if you try to joke with somebody who's like a cashier or somebody else, and you try to make them laugh, well, that is considered flirting. Even if you're together and there's a waitress or something, and you try to say something funny, sometimes that can be perceived as flirting. So even though they do speak English well here, for the most part, a lot of them do. There's a lot that don't, but they do for the most part in the cities and stuff. They do speak English well, and you may be able to communicate fine. But just remember, there are going to be words and phrases and things back and forth that you misunderstand, she misunderstands. The sarcasm may not go over well. Your humor, I guess if you try to make somebody else laugh, if it's somebody of the opposite sex, that can be considered flirting. So tread lightly when you are in a new relationship here in the Philippines. Careful with your sarcasm. Careful with trying to make other girls laugh, even if it's said to make everybody laugh. They may not find it so funny. And the words again. So this is where I would love to hear your experience, any situations you've had with your girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever. Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear and read all about that. That'd be funny, and it's good for other people to know too. Again, the one that comes off the top of my head is don't use the word exotic. They don't like that. Sometimes they don't like the word cute either. They think of that like you're talking about a puppy dog or something. They like the word beautiful and pretty, but cute, exotic, not so much. So guys, check out my website. You can get a couple of free things that I highly recommend. You can check out my moving out to the Philippines or traveling out to the Philippines kind of checklist of things you should do and prepare. And I think it's a 4 or 5 page PDF. You can check that out on the main page, download it, print it, or just view it. And check out my updated 2024 list of hotels and resorts that I personally stayed at throughout the Philippines that I recommend and that I can say, yeah, that place is good. Because there's been some places, in fact, recently, when we got back from Malaysia, I decided to try out a new hotel. It was a new condo, actually. And I wanted an Airbnb. It was near the Venice Grand Canal in Taguig. And I was like, oh, we could be close here. We could, in the morning time, we'll go out and have coffee and, at the Grand Canal and view the mall. And then we'll go to the airport and fly home. Well, we got in late around midnight, 1 a.m., turned the light on, and cockroaches scattering everywhere. Foam mattress. It was just pretty crappy. So I made this list so you guys don't have to suffer through a lot of the same things that I've personally had to myself and others as well. So check it out. It's on my main webpage, geointhephilippines.com. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see everyone next time. Bye.